What if your body was trying to tell you something? Something big and you didn't even know it. It's a chilling idea, but here's the reality. As we age, our bodies don't just wear out overnight. They send signals, quiet, sneaky ones, that can start up to a year before the end comes. Maybe you've felt your energy dip more than usual, or noticed your appetite isn't what it used to be. You might shrug it off as just getting older. But what if it's more than that? For most of us, the idea of death feels far off, like a sudden event we'll see coming from a mile away. A heart attack, a fall, something dramatic. But science tells us it's often not like that. The body doesn't crash. It fades, dropping hints along the way. And here's why that's a game changer. If you can spot these clues, you can take control. Plan your care, talk to your family, make your days count. Ignore them and you might miss the chance to prepare on your terms. We're breaking down the 5 key signs that often show up in the year before life winds down. These aren't guesses. They're rooted in how our bodies work, backed by medical research and tailored for you. Someone who's lived long enough to know life's not always predictable. By the end, you'll understand what's happening inside you and how to respond with clear eyes and a steady heart. Curious about what your body might be whispering? Let's dive in. The 5 key signs. Sign number 1, unexplained weight loss. You step on the scale one morning and notice you're down a few pounds. No big deal, right? You haven't been dieting or hitting the gym, but then it keeps happening. 5 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe more, over weeks or months. Your clothes feel looser, your belt needs an extra notch, and you're not sure why. For older adults, this isn't just a quirk, it's a red flag. Medically, this is called unintentional weight loss, and it's common in the final year of life. As we age, our metabolism slows by about 1 to 2% per decade after 60, according to studies. That's normal, but when weight drops without effort, it's often a sign of something called cachexia, a condition where the body can't maintain muscle or fat. Why? Your digestive system might not be absorbing nutrients like it used to. Enzymes in your stomach and intestines weaken, and your liver struggles to process proteins. Meanwhile, inflammation, often from chronic conditions like arthritis or heart disease, ramps up, burning energy faster than you can replace it. This isn't about skipping meals on purpose. Your appetite might shrink because your brain's hunger signals, driven by hormones like ghrelin, aren't firing as strongly. Taste buds fade too. Research shows we lose about half by age 80, making food less appealing. Over time, this leads to muscle wasting, or sarcopenia, which saps strength and raises risks like falls or infections. If you're losing more than 5% of your body weight in 6 months, say dropping from 160 to 150 pounds without trying, it's time to pay attention. What can you do? Talk to your doctor. Blood tests can check for nutrient deficiencies or underlying issues like thyroid problems. Small protein-rich meals might help, but if the decline's deep, the focus shifts to comfort. Think easy snacks or hydration. Knowing this now lets you plan ahead. Maybe even discuss it with your kids so they're not blindsided. Sign number 2, overwhelming fatigue. You used to tackle the day, gardening, errands, a walk around the block. Now just getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain. You rest, but the tiredness sticks around, heavy and unshakable. This isn't the fatigue of a busy week, it's a sign your body's running on fumes. Science explains it like this. As we age, our heart and lungs don't work as efficiently. Cardiac output, the amount of blood your heart pumps, drops by about 20 to 30% between 60 and 90, per the American Heart Association. Less blood means less oxygen reaches your muscles and brain. Add in declining mitochondrial function, those tiny power plants in your cells, and energy production tanks. By your 70s or 80s, studies show mitochondria are 25% less effective, leaving you drained even after a nap. In the final year, this ramps up. Your body starts conserving energy, prioritizing vital organs like the heart and kidneys over, say, your legs or arms. Hormones shift too. Cortisol levels, which help you push through stress, can spike or crash, throwing off your rhythm. You might sleep more, doze off midday, or feel wiped out after simple tasks like dressing. It's not laziness, It's biology dialing back. If this is you, don't fight it. Rest when you need to. It's your body's way of coping. Tell your doctor if it's new or worsening. They might check your oxygen levels or heart function. Little adjustments like a comfy chair or fewer chores can save your strength for what matters. Maybe a chat with a grandkid. It's about pacing yourself, not pushing through. Sign number 3, cognitive confusion or withdrawal. Ever forget where you parked your car? Normal. But what if you can't recall yesterday's breakfast or you blank out mid-conversation? Maybe you're not as chatty as you used to be, preferring silence over the noise of a family gathering. For older adults, these shifts in thinking or socializing can signal the brain's winding down. Here's the science. Your brain needs a steady flow of oxygen and glucose, about 20% of your body's total supply, says the National Institute on Aging. As circulation slows with age, blood vessels stiffen and that flow drops. By 80, cerebral blood flow can be 15 to 20% lower than at 50. Add in wear and tear on neurons, brain cells, and you get memory lapses or confusion. In the final year, this accelerates. Reduced oxygen can fog your focus, making it hard to track time or recognize faces. It's not always Alzheimer's. It's often just the body's systems fading together. Withdrawal ties in too. Your brain's emotional centers, like the amygdala, rely on neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, that dwindle with age or illness. Talking feels draining, crowds overwhelm, and you might rather sit quietly than join in. Mood swings can hit, irritability one day, calm detachment the next, as your brain adjusts to less fuel. If this sounds like you, keep it simple. Stick to routine, same coffee mug, same chair, to ease the mental load. Tell someone you trust if you're struggling. They can help with reminders or just sit with you. A doctor might test for reversible causes like low B12, but if it's the bigger picture, focus on peace, soft music, a familiar view. It's your mind asking for a break, and that's okay. Sign number 4, frequent infections and slow healing. You catch a cold and it lingers for weeks. A scratch on your hand stays red and sore instead of scabbing over. Maybe you've had pneumonia twice this year when you used to breeze through winter. For seniors, this isn't just bad luck, it's your immune system slowing down. Aging weakens immunity. By 70, your T cells, key fighters against infection, drop in number and strength per the National Institutes of Health. White blood cell production dips too, leaving you vulnerable. In the final year, this gets worse. Chronic inflammation from conditions like diabetes or COPD taxes your defenses, while poor circulation, down 20 to 30% from your younger years, means fewer immune cells reach trouble spots. Skin thins out, losing 20% of its thickness by 80, making cuts or sores harder to heal. Infections like urinary tract infections, UTIs, or pneumonia spike because bacteria outpace your body's response. Antibiotics might work slower, needing stronger doses or longer courses. Healing lags too. Low collagen production and sluggish blood flow mean a bruise or scrape can take weeks, not days, to fade. You might not even run a fever. Instead, you just feel off, tired, foggy, less hungry. What to do? Stay warm. Your body fights better at the right temperature. Hydrate, even if it's just sips, to flush out germs. If infections keep popping up, ask your doctor about blood work or wound care tips. It's less about beating every bug and more about staying comfortable. Clean socks, a humidifier, small wins that add up. Sign number 5, changes in breathing or circulation. You notice your breaths are shorter, shallower, like you're sipping air through a straw. Or your hands and feet stay cold, even under a blanket, with a faint blue tint under your nails. Maybe talking leaves you winded, and lying flat makes you cough. These aren't random. They're your heart and lungs signaling a slowdown. By your later years, lung capacity drops, about 50% less air per breath than at 30, says the American Lung Association. Heart strength fades too. It pumps 20 to 30% less blood per beat. In the final stretch, this intensifies. Your body redirects blood to vital organs, brain, liver, leaving extremities chilly. Breathing patterns shift, slower, irregular, sometimes with pauses, as oxygen demand outstrips supply. Fluid can build up in your lungs, causing a rattle or tightness, especially if your heart's struggling. It's not always obvious. You might not gasp, you just tire out faster. Circulation dips, skin pales, fingers cool, because your heart's prioritizing survival over comfort. Studies show this can start months before the end, a quiet shift you feel more than see. If this is happening, prop yourself up. Pillows help breathing. Keep warm. A hot water bottle can ease the chill. Tell your doctor. They might suggest oxygen or meds to lighten the load. It's about feeling okay, not fixing everything. You've earned that much. Final thoughts. Knowledge is your strength. These signs, weight loss, fatigue, confusion, infections, breathing shifts, aren't here to scare you. They're facts, straight from how your body works. Losing pounds without trying, your metabolism's stalling. Tired all the time? Your heart's pacing itself. Forgetting things or getting sick more? Your brain and immune system are dialing back. Cold hands, short breath, circulation's focusing on the essentials. It's not random, it's biology. For you, this is power. Spotting these early means you can call the shots, talk to your doctor, tweak your routine, tell your family what you need. Maybe it's time to say, I want my days quiet, or let's keep it simple. You've lived long enough to know what matters. This just helps you hold on to it. No need to rush. If something here feels familiar, start small. Check in with your health team. Share this with a friend who gets it. Your voice matters, so if this clicks, drop a thought below or pass it on. It's your life, your terms. Make it count.